Welcome back to What's New in the Lou with Alexis Zotos, presented by Kaldi's Coffee. This is your can't miss weekly podcast where we are diving in to everything that's happening around St. Louis. Think the can't miss events, of course, the brand new restaurants, and most importantly, the people that make St. Louis the best place to live and visit. And stick around to the end because we do have a calendar of all the events happening this week, so you know exactly what's going on. And if you can't tell by my beads, we are talking about Mardi Gras this week. It is officially Mardi Gras season in St. Louis. It's one of my favorite times of the year, and I am joined with someone who knows a lot about it. Mack Bradley. Mack, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You are the president of the Mardi Gras Foundation.
That is what they tell me.
For a long time.
For a long time.
How long have you been in this role?
About 20-ish years. I've been involved for 26 now.
It's a lot of Mardi Gras.
Yeah, but I started when I was like 8. So, you know.
Yeah,
you got to start
just
early.
A wee child.
You got to start early.
All right. So as everyone always wants to know, how did St. Louis Mardi Gras become such a big deal? You know, whoever wants to question how big we are in terms of the scheme of the country, we are a big deal. We know Mardi Gras is big. Yeah. How did it all begin?
So interested. So that's actually 2 questions.
Okay.
1, how did it begin? And 2, how did it become this the thing that it is? So, it's funny. Everybody thinks that because, Soulard is the French Quarter and this, French heritage and all that stuff. No, it's got nothing to do with any of that. 5 guys in the winter of 79 to 80 wanted to have a party.
As one does.
As one does. It was a brutal winter. I don't remember it because I was only 8 when I started doing Mardi Gras. But they tell me it was brutally cold. So they wanted to have a party, and one of them had just bought a building on Russell Boulevard in Soulard that would later become famous as Hillary's.
Okay.
But Hillary, the guy who bought it, it wasn't a bar yet. It was just an empty building that he had just bought. So Hillary and his 4 buddies decided to have a party. They get closer to the event, and one of them says, "Hey, don't we need a theme? Let's do a theme for the party." And somebody else says, "Well, isn't Mardi Gras coming up? Let's do a Mardi Gras because it's close, right? Let's do a Mardi Gras party." So they each put in $200 and could invite, I think, 100 friends.
Okay.
And had this big party. So it cost what, $1,000, $1,200 for the first one. It's a little more. More than that now. So they have a party, and at the end of the night, it had snowed that day, and one of the guys had a pickup truck with the blade thing in the front. Okay. So there was snow on the road, and they walked behind this guy's pickup truck snowplow up the street to McGurk's, where they got thrown out for being too loud. So that was the first Mardi Gras parade.
I love it. But then how did it go from there? How do we take a little party with a $1,000 budget to where we are today?
Yeah. So, the restaurant owners in Soulard quickly recognized
this could be a thing.
That this could be, a cool thing. And so over the next several years, decade, 15 years or so, they sort of ran it. And it was kind of what you would call, I think, a large neighborhood festival. Let's call it that. But then, 1995, 6, and 7, you had 3 years in a row of 70-degree weather on Grand Parade Day.
The best kind of parade day.
And what had become...
Or the least favorite, the organizers.
Depending on your perspective, a good thunderstorm around 6 p.m. is always good. But depending on your perspective, so the good weather over that period of time basically transformed this, already fairly large neighborhood festival into a regional event. And, and ultimately into one of the, depending on how you count it, one of the biggest or the biggest event in St. Louis all year long. And from something that was one day, the Saturday before Fat Tuesday for the Grand Parade, which used to kind of snake its way through the neighborhood, but became much too large for that, which is why it runs down 7th Street now, into, today where we have a dozen different events over several weeks, depending on how long the season is.
Yeah, because that season is not dictated by Mardi Gras. You guys don't choose the day of the parade.
Right.
Who chooses?
Well,
this is my favorite.
So either Pope Gregory or the moon, right? Because
it's out of your hands.
It's kind of out of our hands, and nobody can argue with Gregory now, right? So Easter is based on the lunar calendar. As good Catholics out there know, Easter's based on the lunar calendar, not the solar calendar, and Fat Tuesday is 47 days before Easter. So our schedule is dependent on the date of Easter, which is dependent on either the moon or Pope Gregory, depending on your perspective.
And so, because one of my favorite things you've told me is there was somebody who once asked you, could we do Mardi Gras later in the season?
Yes. It was, in fact, I probably shouldn't say who, but let's just say it was someone of authority in City Hall, in city government, and who I'm almost sure is Catholic, but I don't know. And we were like, you're going to have to go to Rome for that. Go to Rome, see what they say. And like, if they're good with it, we're good with it.
Right.
Right. But it's not our decision.
So, the weather is always a tricky thing to deal with. You have no idea, as we're sitting here today, what things could look like on February 14th, which is the day of the Grand Parade.
Right.
How do you plan such a large outdoor festival parade in St. Louis when the weather could literally be snowing and 5 degrees, or we could have a 70-degree day? How do you plan?
So we've had all those things. I should say snowing and 5 degrees is generally not an issue. 70 degrees is also obviously not an issue. Rain is a problem.
Yeah.
Right? Or ice is a problem. Snow and cold don't seem to really bother people very much.
You get that hurricane blanket and you're good to go.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. If it's raining, different story. It takes a lot of coordination. And I have to say, because I got to give them props, it takes a huge amount of coordination with the city of St. Louis. So we have to work with them on streets and sidewalks and barricades and all kinds of things that the city is helpful with. And, we, the whole season, not just parade day, but the whole season generates more than $20 million for the regional economy, right? That's, hotel rooms and restaurants and things like that. So economically, we think it's good for the city and the region. We also know that we did a survey several years ago. A full 25% of our visitors on Grand Parade Day come from outside the St. Louis MSA. So $1 out of every 4 of those is new money
coming
to the region. So, that I think is important in terms of, frankly, how we deal with the city and others. This is a moneymaker for the city and for the region, and not just for the city, because when we did the research that I just referred to, trying to figure out what exactly is the impact, how does all of this really work beyond what we can see,
right? And
one of the things we got back is restaurants in St. Charles and Chesterfield and all places all over the region, their best day of the year is Grand Parade Day.
Wow.
So the economic ripples of this spread across the region, and we love that. I mean, this is a volunteer job for me and for almost everybody else who's involved. So you got to
you gotta love it.
Yeah, you got to love it and love what it does for St. Louis and how it brings people here, especially during a time of year when why would you come to St. Louis in February?
See, in that case, it is really good that it's this time of year because it's a draw.
Yeah, that is true, actually.
Was there ever a year you had to cancel weather-wise or other reasons? I can't remember.
So we've never had to cancel the Grand Parade.
Okay.
There are a few times we've canceled smaller events because of weather. We do our first event of every season, actually the only one that's always on the same day. It's based on the solar calendar, is Epiphany.
Okay.
12th night is the start of the season. And we have an outdoor procession. It's not a parade. It's a procession because...
You have to be accurate with that language.
Yes, because you don't need a permit for a procession. Okay. Yeah.
This sounds like a permitting situation.
Yes. It's definitely, whatever it is definitely not a parade. It's just a small procession. But there have been a couple of years we canceled that because of cold. We just thought it was too cold. And we don't do this anymore, but many years ago, we did a smaller Fat Tuesday parade downtown. And I remember standing there with our executive director about an hour or so before go time, and people are gathering and everything. And we watched a bolt of lightning hit the Martin Luther King Bridge.
Ooh. Because
there was a thunderstorm on Fat Tuesday.
That's odd.
Rolling in. And we looked at each other and said, maybe we shouldn't put people 20 feet in the air on a bunch of floats during an electrical storm. So we didn't do that.
Got canceled.
Yeah.
But never had to cancel the Grand Parade. That's pretty incredible out of all these years.
No.
How big is that parade now? What are we talking about in terms of floats, in terms of people? Give us some context of how it's grown over the years.
So this year we'll probably have about 80 different units in the parade. Now that's floats and also the walking crews, the chair. Yeah, the chair brigade, the banana bike brigade.
Yeah, I love them.
Folks. So that includes all of them. And there are around 8,000 people actually in the parade. In terms of, how many people are there on parade day, it's always the same. Our official estimate is a lot.
And is that just because it's too hard to estimate when you're because you've got people that are lined up for blocks and blocks and up in the buildings, and it's got to be almost impossible to guess.
It is impossible. I think it's impossible to really be accurate about it, and also we don't care that much,
The news people care. We always love to have those. Give us a number of the crowd.
I know. The news people really, really care, and I really, really don't. And, and everybody cares about, we're the second biggest. And maybe that's true. But, since it's not a turnstile kind of event.
There's no one with a clicker.
No. And
counting.
And it's a whole neighborhood. So there are 82 ways into the neighborhood. That'd be a lot of clickers. Yeah. Right? What we know is, what we can tell is everybody thinks you can tell from sales, but you really can't tell from sales. Weather has a lot to do with what people buy.
Yeah.
And also a lot of the sales are from the private businesses in Soulard who understandably aren't interested in telling us exactly what it is, which I wouldn't want to either. So you can't base it on that. But what we can do is by trash tonnage.
Oh.
So when we do the cleanup every year and then you weigh it, you can tell not how many people were there, but how does this crowd compare
to years past.
So trash tonnage is a great way to measure year over year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Over the years, you guys have added all these different events, additional events, and some of them are equally as fun as Grand Parade Day. Pet Parade is one of my favorite days. It's just always so much fun. You've got Taste of Soulard that weekend. You guys have the Cajun Cook-Off, which is at the Anheuser-Busch Beer Garden this year. What do those extra events add to the season?
The way the season has sort of kind of built itself out really. Because some of it's sort of organic and some of it is more planned. The pet parade, for example, was the guy that used to own Clementine's, which is now Duke's, I think, in Soulard. It was Clem's forever.
For a long time.
And he loved dogs.
Who doesn't?
Gary Reed. He loved dogs and wanted to have a dog parade. And that was, I don't know, 20 some odd years ago.
Oh, okay. It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. And now the Purina Pet Parade is the only Guinness Book of World Records holder among all of our events. Hard to believe. You would think they would all hold a Guinness World Record for something, wouldn't you? But it's really just the pet parade. It is the world's largest costumed animal parade.
Wow. Love it.
Yeah.
I love that. And it is always so fun. And I always tell people, like, from a family perspective, like, if you don't want to drag the kids down for Grand Parade Day, although there are plenty of spots that you can go that are very family friendly.
Yeah.
Pet parade is always a really great option.
Yeah. And it's so pet parade. We also do the family winter carnival for kids and families. So the way this is all built out is it's sort of a make your own Mardi Gras season.
Yeah.
Because there are events sort of for everybody. Whatever your jam is, there's something in the season for you, whether it's, pet parade with your family or the Cajun cook-off or Taste of Soulard if you're a foodie. If you want to put on a ball gown, there's the mayor's ball.
And that's at City Hall this year.
Yeah, we're back at City Hall.
That's cool.
This year. Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah, you get to sort of pick and choose which events fit your cup of tea for the year. What is your favorite event? Do you have one?
I do.
What is it?
Well, it's kind of like asking somebody who
your
their
favorite child.
Kid is.
Yeah, which I like
right,
to. I think parents know they have a favorite child.
They do, but you'll notice they generally don't talk about it.
Can't let the kids know.
I will say, love the pet parade. And I have to say 12th night is one of my favorite events because it's a parade. It's a procession and not a parade. Because
what slipped there?
Yeah, sorry. Now I'm gonna have to go get a permit.
Right.
It's a smaller event, and as I mentioned earlier, most of the vast majority of people that are involved in this world are all volunteers. And so you get to see people that you haven't seen in a year, that are kind of part of the Mardi Gras family, and we're all gearing up for another season. And I really love that event a lot.
USA Today readers have named Kaldi's Coffee the best coffee chain for the second year in a row. Since 1994, Kaldi's Coffee has built its reputation on thoughtful sourcing, careful roasting, and warm, consistent service that shows up in every cup. It's an honor earned through daily dedication to quality. Explore Kaldi's best blends and find your cafe at kaldiscoffee.com. What makes you keep doing this year after year? You've probably put in enough years to this where you could sit back, go to the beach on Mardi Gras weekend. What makes you return year after year to help make this such a successful season?
Well, for those who are watching this instead of just listening to it, you'll probably tell why I don't go to the beach, right? It's fairly obvious.
They make sunscreen.
It's fairly obvious. Yeah, but they don't make SPF 200 as far as I know. So that's why I don't go to the beach. I guess there are two reasons. I really love the people. There are so many great people that are involved with this. And like you mentioned earlier, it's sort of a passion project. And I love it when people are sort of passionate about like whatever their thing is. And the Banana Bike Brigade is a good example. Like, they're passionate about that stuff, and that's infectious. I love that. And I love that it's great for St. Louis. I really think it is great for St. Louis, and we need more things that are great for St. Louis.
Yeah. Do you have a memory over the years that when you tell people, hey, this thing happened in Mardi Gras, and they simply don't believe it because it's that crazy? Any things like that over the years you've seen that you're like, people just like wouldn't believe the behind the scenes that go into making this all happen.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of one I can actually tell. We get, I know we've already talked about this, but we get a lot of disbelief, I guess is a decent word for it, about the different kinds of animals that have been in the pet parade.
Oh.
So,
what's the craziest animal?
So we've had snakes and pigs.
That would excite my kids. It would
Yeah.
be like, snake.
Yeah. So we've had snakes and birds and
birds. Okay.
Goats, ponies.
Are the monkeys going to be there?
It's funny you should mention this. This news has not been announced. This is a world premiere announcement.
We love breaking news here on the podcast.
Normally, we just have one grand marshal for the grand parade.
Mm-hmm.
But we've decided to break with tradition. We're going to have 5 grand marshals this year. 4 monkeys and a goat are going to be grand marshaling the grand parade this year. And now you heard it here first.
I'm not kidding you, though. If you could somehow, they've eluded the authorities, but if you could find the person who owns the monkeys and give them some sort of, amnesty, and then those monkeys are there, I'm just saying that would get the Guinness World Record of something.
You think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding. Those are our grand marshals.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. We haven't decided if we name them.
Right.
Are they just like monkeys?
I'm sure they have names.
1, 2, 3, 4?
They probably have names. I don't know. The monkeys, again, are one of those stories that just has captivated St. Louis.
Not just St. Louis.
Everywhere. I
get text messages from people all over the country who's saying, What's going on exactly? What's going on exactly in St. Louis? Either it's a tornado or loose monkeys.
We just,
everywhere.
Hey, I'll take both of those headlines over other headlines that we find ourselves in St. Louis.
Well, okay. Fair enough.
Okay. So I don't even know where we were going with this. Crazy stories over the years at Mardi Gras. You've had some crazy animals at the pet parade. Is there like a grand parade that stands out to you of just being one of those years that you just look around and you're like, this is why we do this. Like, this is what makes this special.
Yeah. So ironically, I think it was the last time that Grand Parade Day was on Valentine's Day.
Oh.
Because it's been on Valentine's Day before.
Oh, has it?
Yeah. And by the way, sidebar, your old buddy, Claire Kellett.
Yeah. Love Claire.
Yeah. She's great. She needs to rethink her life choices, I think. She said,
where this is going.
well, they're talking about the fact that Grand Parade Day's on Valentine's Day. And she says, well, I don't know if that's really
romantic,
what I would want for Valentine's Day.
Oh, my husband and I can't wait to spend our Valentine's Day at Mardi Gras.
Somebody out there, talk to Claire.
Okay, I'll send her a message.
Rethink this a little bit.
I think it sounds like the most romantic day.
I think it does too.
My husband and I we met like right around Mardi Gras, and I'll never forget that he was out of town the first Mardi Gras that we were dating. I'm like, well, I'm just letting you know, like, this is my thing. I love Mardi Gras. I never miss the parade. So like, I'm going to cut you some slack this year, but in the years to come, like, this is where we are, whatever day this falls on. And every year we've been pregnant, not pregnant.
So that's why you married him.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. And he now loves Mardi Gras just as much as I do. I have just recruited him.
Are there other reasons, or is that the main one?
I like him for a couple other reasons.
Okay.
He's pretty fun.
All right. But that's one of them.
Enjoying Mardi Gras with me is a top reason.
Is one of them. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah.
So the last time I was on Valentine's Day, and I'm not going to say the names because I'm sure I'll get one of them wrong, but our parade theme that year was famous couples.
Okay. It's a solid one for Valentine's Day.
And the crews really, they were crazy. But what we did was we got 2 former Cardinal football players.
Okay.
That were our famous couple.
Okay.
And rode on the back of their car together with the famous couples. And they were hilarious. And the fact that they, played along with the famous couple thing was a lot of fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
Because people sometimes don't realize that there are themes each year. What's the theme this year?
Peace, Love, and Mardi Gras.
Love it. And so that's how the crews create the floats and their costumes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of thought that goes into that.
Yeah, it takes months for the crews to design and build these floats. We generally pick a parade theme in late August, early September, and then put that out to the crews. And now, obviously, we give them, it is Mardi Gras, a fair amount of latitude to riff on the theme. But, everybody's supposed to have an entry that comports in one way or another with the parade theme. And we were talking about the TV people earlier. All the TV people want, I want to float before Mardi Gras. I want people
to see it.
Yeah, I want people hammering stuff together or gluing glitter on something, before Mardi Gras. But the crews, especially the ones that are really into it, right? The ones that want to compete for the best float. They don't want people seeing what they're right. I mean, right? Because it's a competition.
Which another thing that people don't realize, that is a competition. Yeah. Those floats are being judged. I didn't judge. Did I judge one year? I emceed the judging. Yeah. That's what I did.
Yeah.
And that's a very serious job those judges have to look at all those floats and
sure.
It's not serious at all, actually, guys.
Sure it is. It's extremely serious. It's basically like the Supreme Court.
Not serious at all.
Yeah.
Except
the robes are purple instead of black. That's really the only difference.
The crews are competing for what? What do they even get?
Money.
I don't even know. Oh, they do get money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they also get,
bragging rights is the bigger thing.
The bragging rights is the big thing. And, and the crews are volunteers too. These are just friends, people that get together, form a crew, and this is what they do.
Yeah.
Can
anybody form a crew? Is there like an application process to?
Yeah, there's an application, but I shouldn't say that. Yes, there is an application. There are all kinds of safety guidelines you have to meet.
You don't want your thing to catch on fire.
No, you don't want that to happen.
It did happen.
It did happen. Was that last year or the year before? 2 years ago.
Years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Something caught on fire.
Yeah, it was ironically,
with the fire department, wasn't it? No?
No, it was Carolyn Kindle was our Regina, the queen of Mardi Gras that year, and City SC was new, and they had a float, and the truck pulling their float caught on fire, and it happened immediately in front of the fire station.
Okay, that's right. I was like, there was something to do with the fire department.
Yeah.
Yes, it was right in front
of
I
have to say, they were on it. Their response time.
Our St. Louis Fire Department is excellent.
They were absolutely on it.
But that's probably not even anywhere near the craziest thing you've seen is a truck catching on fire.
I don't know. Truck catching on fire in the middle of the parade.
That was crazy? Okay.
Is
that up there? All right. I don't know.
Crazy.
I don't know how to gauge what level of crazy you've seen over the years.
That was pretty crazy.
Okay.
Tiny Tim as the Grand Marshal. That was crazy.
What?
Yeah. Tiny Tim.
Like from Charles Dickens?
Yeah, that one. He was super old.
He was Tiny super Tim?
Old, but thanks to Scrooge, he lived,
Wait, who is Tiny Tim?
Tiny Tim. You're too young to remember Tiny Tim.
Okay. Maybe our older listeners have any idea what we're talking about.
For those of you undoubtedly watching this on YouTube, you probably know who Tiny Tim is.
Okay.
But he was crazy.
Is there a dream king or queen of Mardi Gras that you guys haven't had
Oh, absolutely.
Who?
Alexis Odos.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm on. Yeah. Sign me up.
Yeah.
No, what I realize I haven't done is I haven't actually been on a float in the Grand Parade. So 1 year.
Why not?
I don't know. I haven't, but 1 year I want to. That's my next year's Mardi Gras goal. So any crews are recruiting, I want to jump on your float. I will help glitter and hammer things on the float.
Well, no. Start a crew.
That would be fun. That sounds like a lot of work.
Well, that's why you have a crew.
Exactly. I need a crew. Right? All right, I'm gonna recruit my friends and my crew.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question for you. For the person that's listening that maybe has never ventured down to any of the events, Maybe they're new to St. Louis, or maybe they've just been like, oh, it sounds too crazy.
Or maybe they're just boring.
Or maybe they're boring.
Could be.
What's your message to them to come check out one or all of these events?
Yeah, stop being boring would be the first one. No, it's like we talked about earlier. It's really a make your own adventure kind of thing. So whatever your thing is, grab a couple of friends and there's an event for you, right? Some of them are smaller, some of them are larger. Do you like crowds? Grand Parade might be your ticket, right? You don't necessarily like big crowds, but you like food. Come to the Cajun Cook-Off, right? Let's say you like crowds, but you're always cold. So come to the Grand Parade, but get a ticket to one of the party tents that are heated and
have bathrooms
and have their own bathrooms. Yeah. So, I think whatever you're into, there's something on the calendar for that. If you want to put on a tuxedo or a ball gown and you want to help raise money for tornado recovery, come to the Mayor's Ball.
There's a little something for everybody. And honestly, it's just one of those things you don't want to be left out of.
Yeah. You want to be able to say you did it. There's I can't remember who this was, but there's a historian, because I'm also boring and a nerd, that I listened to, who said, every city has a bit. And when you go to the city, he and his wife always talk about what's the bit. And the bit is the part that once you've either experienced it or seen it, you can legitimately say you've been to the place, right? So I would argue that for St. Louis, we're fortunate because we've got more than one bit, right? We have one bit in the shape of a catenary curve on the riverfront.
Okay. I'm like,
and
tossing geometry terms out there.
And then we got another bit at Mardi Gras. So you need to say you've done the bit.
I love it. Thanks, Mac. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We've got the full lineup of all the Mardi Gras events linked in the description of this week's episode, but let's dive into what's happening this week in St. Louis. All right, Friday night, Hot Country Nights kicks off at Ballpark Village, Friday, January 30th. The Mardi Gras Cajun Cook-Off is January 31st. The Crab and Oyster Festival at Broadway Oyster Bar is all weekend, Friday, January 30th and Saturday, January 31st. Art Inside is a art festival at Schlafly that is happening all weekend, Friday, January 30th through Sunday, February 1st. And Fête de Glace, which is a free ice carnival happening in St. Charles on Saturday, January 31st. As always, we'd love it if you subscribe to the podcast so you know exactly when new episodes drop, and go ahead and like us on social media. You can find us on Instagram and on Facebook. Thanks for listening.